So they need to be exposed for what they are from as many angles as possible. I have never in any way advocated the destruction of the Church of Scientology, but I am seriously interested in reforming the tactics and policies that abrogate the human and civil rights of its members and critics. If Scientology wants to be treated like a church, it's high time they start to act like one. As for myself, I do not intend to surrender my rights to Scientology without an armed struggle. I will be armed with the stories of abuse and betrayal, harassment, intimidation, fear, broken families, neglected children, financial ruin, and the personal and emotional devastation that so many ex-Scientologists have suffered. The strategic thinkers at the top of Scientology need to understand a fundamental law of physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This postulate is equally true in life. No matter what form the hate that Scientology dishes out takes. No matter what form the hate that Scientology dishes out takes, they will always be on the receiving end of intense and concentrated actions from an ever-growing circle of critics. This is precisely what Scientology has done with me and many others who are now players in this mythological battle between good and evil. As cult apologist J. Gordon Melton said, they turn critics into enemies and enemies into dedicated warriors for a lifetime. Given the current level of harassment, intimidation, and abuse dished out by this organization, my crystal ball sees Scientology's future is filled with more negative consequences in response to their actions, including more press, more media, and more public speaking against Scientology's anti-social policies, abuse of the legal system, and total disregard for the rights of others. More organized and concentrated efforts to educate celebrity victims being used by Scientology and manipulated as to the true nature and origins of the evil and vile practices of this organization. And we will target selected celebrities for personal intervention. More specific efforts to reach individual members with the truth about Scientology's lies and hypocrisy. And more fundraising from an expanding array of talented people and capable people who will no longer tolerate the bullying policies and tactics used by Scientology management. I'm almost finished, don't worry. Standing up to the Church of Scientology has been an incredibly enlightening and enriching personal experience for me. A test of my character, my own personal character at each and every step of the way. And it has not been easy. I've gotten to know many former Scientologists, and clearly they are some of the nicest people I've ever known. While in Scientology, these very same people were taught to lie and betray and acquiesce to having their own rights taken away from them. This proves to me that even an organization as totalitarian as Scientology cannot strip away innate human goodness, and gives me hope that we will get to know many more former Scientologists as our actions continue in the coming weeks and months. Thank you very much.
We have time for a few questions.
If anybody has a few questions they'd like to ask, give it a shot. Over here. Mr. Carmichael, please.
Yes, Reverend Carmichael with the Church of Scientology of New York. For all your claims and so forth, can you explain why you chose to support, of all people, a man who is, for instance, one of them is an associate of Willis Carto, described as the foremost anti-Semite in America, why you support a man who is a wife beater and a deadbeat dad, who is enjoined by injunction to keep him away from the Church of Scientology because of threatened violence against its members, why you support another person who posts notes on the internet so foul that Dateline couldn't publish them, and you certainly couldn't read them from the podium, and so forth. Why do you choose this group of people whose credentials I've just enumerated?
Because you misrepresent reality, because those people are not bad people. They were former top officials.
The question's for him.
I can easily answer that question. Each and every one of those people are human beings just like you and I like them. I'm sorry that Grady Ward uses particularly, or has in the past used particularly foul language on the internet. But that is Grady's style. Grady is an extremely intelligent and articulate person who chooses to use that particular tactic so that the people in Scientology who read his disgusting post will not forget what he is saying. And this is always directed at lawyers working for the Church of Scientology. The rest of the people you've talked about, I think they're extremely kind and wonderful people who needed help, not help that they got from the Church of Scientology. So I hope that answers your question.
Allegations are false.
Yes, plus the allegations are false. And even if they were true, it wouldn't be any of your business what I did.
I'd like to turn the question just around just a little bit. I wonder why the last questionnaire didn't answer the problems about Scientology. Why do they always go after something other than what's wrong with them?
Well, I can give you a very good... explanation based on my own personal experience. I've tried on 2 occasions to arrange meetings with senior people in the Church of Scientology, including David Miscavige, including Mike Rinder, the head of the Office of Special Affairs, together at the particular time with Sylvia Stannard, who is here in our office, and Beth Akiyama, who is the public relations lady for Scientology in New York. They are not able to sit down and meet with me and talk about issues that we feel are relevant. It is not our business to be criticizing the Church of Scientology. It is not allowed under their policies. So how can they sit down and talk with somebody who's doing something that is not allowed under the policies of L. Ron Hubbard?
I think we're going to have to cut.
Okay. I think we're out of time.
Okay, just so you know, if anybody had a question and you didn't have time to ask it, I believe most of our keynote speakers, if they can, will be sticking around after the conference. Later on or during lunch, feel free to approach anybody with any questions you have.
Thanks again.